If the earth were your body, you would be able to feel the many areas where it is suffering. Hello and namaste from Pallavi. Welcome to my podcast, Eco Friendly Kind World. And here's another green episode to inspire you and motivate you and give you ways how you can start advocating for climate action and why it is important wherever you are in the world. In this episode, our guest today, Mr. Olumide, is a Nigerian climate change champion. He has been actively involved in climate change advocacy for the last 12 years and is strategically positioned to engage younger and older generations through his articles, active participation in climate change groups, and the use of social media, where he is popularly known as Mr. Climate. He is the co founder of the International Climate Change Development Initiative, a non governmental institution that seeks to grow climate smart generations across Africa while addressing gaps in development. He is also the youth focal point in Nigeria for UNGP's Small Grant Program, a youth led author, Global Environmental Outlook, and executive coordinator for African Youth Initiative on Climate Change. He is an alumnus of the International Visitor Leadership Program to the United States of America and the Atlas Corps Fellow. Wow, I'm so excited for our conversation today, Mr. Olumide. Welcome to Eco Friendly Kind World. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. And you? How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. And
Yes.
it's
Thank
my
you for inviting me.
oh yes, absolutely my sheer pleasure and honor to have you on my podcast. So you have a long involvement into environmental initiatives. So please tell to our listeners about the environmental protection activities which you are doing.
Thank you very much for inviting me today to speak on the issue affecting the environment. So, my environmental advocacy has been focusing on using social media, driving conversation for young people to understand that environmental education is important, and also to see how they can start talking about ideas that can change and bring innovative volunteerism across the value chain. And also, my environmental protection activism has also been focusing on creating a community engagement using the problem tree to engage the community to help them to identify problems and to also to help them to share, to provide solution to that particular community problem they are facing. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I've been able to ensure that I engage, I promote, and I help people to understand that environmental protection is a way of life. And if we don't take urgent action in protecting our environment, we will continue to face the consequences of what is happening in the space. So that is why I've been able to use a little bit of my experience, my background, to start talking about this issue, engage other young people across Africa, across the globe, to see how we can change the narrative of environment issues and climate change issues. Thank you very much.
Very rightly said that environmental protection is a way of life. And if we won't work for its protection, then we are going to face the consequences. So, my next question to you, Mr. Olumide, is that you have been involved since, around 12 years. So, what has been your motivating factor? Because back then, there was not much usage of social media as it is today, right? So,
Yes.
would you like to tell us, yeah, what was your motivating factor?
Yeah, thank you very much. One of the things that let me first start acknowledging the platform that give me that opportunity to be where I
Mhm.
am today, which is ISEC. ISEC is an international platform for young people to discover and develop their potentials. And through this organization, while back in school, I was able to understand that youth development, youth activism is very, very key and important. And the motivation factor here was because I've been able to engage different people across the world through our exchange program. And through this exchange program, I've been able to learn from people that are already in the space doing fantastic work. And so, what actually gives me the motivation is to leverage on the contact or creating a network of like-minded people that I've seen, and also I've engaged myself a lot in reading, understanding issues, and see the problems and see solutions that is meant for that problems. And these have been giving me those factor to say I need to continue to do what I'm doing. I need to continue to engage myself, and I need to continue to learn to update myself on things that is happening. And my experience using social media is just because of mobilization resources that is not well available for young people to drive community engagement. So I decided to say, okay, social media is another way for me to amplify my voices, to create conversation, and to drive innovation. And that's why I came up with a program called Climate Wednesday. And this project is just for me to have people's conversation, to listen, to hear people's experience, problem, issues, and to come up with a solution. So that is what has been motivating me. I've never relent. I've never looked backward. I've been consistent in making sure that I speak to change concerning issues I've seen in all the starting from the MDGs to the SDGs. I've been advocating for that, and it has been encouraging me to speak more on environmental protection and to see biodiversity and conservation as a very strong area to engage the government, to engage people and stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that information. So, could you please tell a little more about this Climate Wednesday initiative and how one can join you, like people who are interested to join in your initiatives? Could you please tell more about your maybe social media handles or where they can approach you?
Okay, so thank you very much. First and foremost, my organization, I co-found an organization called International Climate Change Development Initiative, which you can check online. Is iccdiafrica.org. And Climate Wednesday is one of the components of the project that we have in ICCDI. And what Climate Wednesday is all about is very simple. As you hear, Climate Wednesday, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Nigerian time, we discuss issues that is affecting the population, that is affecting Africa continent and affecting all over the world. And this is a platform that is seek to build a climate smart generation across Africa while identifying key climate issues affecting development, especially in Nigeria, through creative dialogue and innovation. So, like on Wednesday, we're going to be having a conversation 6 p.m. But this time, we are using the means of we are using Twitter Space to have this conversation every Wednesday. So if you go online, put an hashtag Climate Wednesday, you'll be able to see the next event we are having. You'll be able to see our guest, the poster for the event. Then you'll be able to engage with us every Wednesday. Follow at Climate Wed. That is the Twitter handle. My personal handle is Olumide Idowu. But when you follow at Climate Wed with the hashtag Climate Wednesday, you'll be able to see the conversation that we speak about our super guests, and we also have a question and answer, response, and everything that you'll be able to engage yourself with. So it's a very great platform to engage and to learn because it's also a learning platform for us that we also want to make use of so that people can understand that this issue is not about listening, it's about learning and gaining information for respective activities and projects you want to work on. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and that's an amazing initiative. And there are a lot of people who are, looking forward for some organization or, some opportunity where they can volunteer and start with. Because I personally come across a lot of questions where people are asking that how and where we can start, what we can do. So, all the listeners, go and check out ICCGI on the internet. Olumide, our Mr. Climate, is very active on social media. So, you can join him in his initiative and start your climate action journey right today. So, Olumide, my next question to you is, could you please give some light on the future initiatives which you are planning?
Okay, thank you very much. We have different activities. We are working presently on how to amplify the conversation on the issue of net zero in Nigeria. So we're starting with a workshop on climate justice and just transition. We are
Mhm.
working on plastic pollution innovation, where we are using plastic to build a toilet because we want to keep to We want to kill two birds with one stone. So we are ending plastic pollution, and we are also taking back. We are also ending. We are also ending open defecation. So what we are trying to do is to take back plastic and use it to build toilets for the local communities, and that is what we are working on present. We are also planning a massive climate education project in primary and secondary schools, which will be starting next month, and it's going to cost across 2 states in Nigeria. That's another initiative we are working on. But to be very elaborate, our focus is majorly to see how we can drive action. If you follow us online, you'll be able to understand that we are trying to drive action on climate change and disaster risk reduction. We are working around renewable energy, which is also part of the energy transition. We're also working on the water, sanitation, and hygiene, which is also part of our open defecation that is happening. We are trying to solve using the plastic bottle. We're also working on sustainable agriculture and food security, where we are going to be having a training with farmers on making sure that they understand that agriculture is a way of, is a source of income for every. I'm also working with women and youth empowerment. We're trying to make sure that our women are involved in every activity when it comes to climate justice, which is very important. And last but not least is biodiversity conservation. We are trying to tell the story of wildlife to let people to understand that they don't need to, they should stop killing mammals, because if they destroy the animals, they destroy the world. So it's something that we are also working on, and we are very happy that our action is helping us to promote climate change awareness and education, as well as providing a platform for collaboration towards sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Wow, and it's so great to hear all your initiatives, and absolutely that you are involving the youth and the women. Wow, I mean, that is the need of the hour. And I wish you all the very best in all your initiatives, and may your tribe grows. More power to you, Olumide. My last question to you is, what would you like to give the message to the people who are still behaving as ignorant, who don't believe that climate change is real?
Yeah, my message is to, let me say, my message to climate deniers is that
Mm-hmm.
if they see several examples that is affecting the communities now, they will realize that climate change is real. And I keep telling people, if we don't take urgent action now, it's going to be a time bomb. And for us that we are still living, for us that we are still enjoying the atmosphere, it is time for us to start taking care of environment. Don't be at on the wall, sitting out on the wall. Tell your neighbor, tell your friends, tell your family that climate change is real. You know, it is not costly now. We can still take care of the environment now, so that the consequence that we're going to have in future will not affect us and affect our future generation. As we all know, 2020 was an unprecedented year, that we see the linkage between COVID-19 and climate change. But now everything is coming to normal. Everywhere is being polluted again. So it is high time for us to see the issue of climate change as well as an investment opportunity for young people to drive innovation. So as much as you are there, sitting down there, listening everywhere you are, I want to say climate change is real.
Mhm.
High time for us to start taking urgent action is now. For us to have investment for our recovery, for us to have investment in our position, and for us to have investment in our community, we need to take care of the environment. And don't sit on the fence. Join us in this conversation, because anything for us without us, it is not meant for us. Thank you very much.
Very rightly said. And if you want to have a safe and secure and a greener future for the upcoming generation, then you need to start acting now. You can't just deny that climate change is not real. Thank you so much for this insightful conversation, Mr. Olumide. And I wish you all the very best. And thank you for coming on my podcast.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks to your team, and thanks to everybody that's listening to us. I hope everything is going to be better for the world, and the world be a better place for us. Thank you, and have a great day.
True, and we are together in this. And all my listeners, stay tuned for more such inspiring climate activist stories. Bye bye.
Bye.